And, so often we say, let it go, let it pass, don't respond to it. But I feel that I have a need to respond to Representative Newberger's comments that he made earlier. And so in reference to the comments that he made, his statement around to be exact, his comment were, boy, wouldn't it be convenient to have that rail line going from the prison, St. Cloud prison, to North Minneapolis? Which I thought was really offensive. Then he went on to say, I hope that I have not disrespected anyone in North Minneapolis. And so, Mr. Speaker, I would say, in members, I say that not only did you disrespect many in North Minneapolis, but I truly felt disrespected myself. And I know I don't stand alone feeling disrespected, not just North Minneapolis, but St. Paul and many other communities that are so often targeted with disrespectful, biased language. And so today, I just feel really disappointed in Representative Newberry, who also said here that Newberry quickly apologized for naming North Minneapolis, but that's what he said, but that what came into my mind. He depicted St. Cloud Prison with North Minneapolis, a community that's very diverse, so much like the community in St. Paul. But that is what came into his mind, prison in a community of color. And that is so often what happens, as we stand in a state that has a huge amount of disparities. Disparities in education, disparities in jobs, disparity in health care, disparity within our criminal justice system, where biases comes to a heave. And so, again, I just feel totally disrespected. In this body, we had in 2013 the Department of Health who went out and did a report. And they talked about why disparities existed. And they came back to this body with a report. And they didn't say disparities exist because it's parents' faults in communities of color, that it's children and youth and students' faults in communities of color. They stated that disparity exists because of structural racism. And for those who don't know what structural racism is, it's not about, I would come from this place that structural racism could be not about, maybe it's not about legislators who are intentionally creating policies that are disproportionately impacting communities of color, but that is what happens. And it comes when we have a mindset of looking at stereotypes, looking at a community where we don't have any relationship or knowledge of that community, and we make assumptions about the people within that community. People who are working very hard for themselves and their community and their kid to have better outcomes, to be self-sustained and sustainable. Families who want the best for themselves and their children. But it is the biases and the stereotypes that gets in the way from that happening. And so, Representative Newberger, my hope is that you don't allow your assumption to allow you to be a great legislator. Because right now what we need is to be working within this body to create more fair and just policies that work towards better outcomes for all of us. I sit in Greater Minnesota Economic and Workforce Development, right? And one of the things that I heard since day one, since we have returned to this body, is the rural community that have said overwhelmingly, what has happened in the last two sessions didn't work for us. We are just an afterthought. What you're doing doesn't work for us. And that is just about what communities of color has been saying for a very long time. What is happening is not working for our community. We are a community of people who are under-resourced. This is much what I heard from rural Minnesota, time after time after time. you are under-resourced. And what is happening here is not working for you. And that's what communities of color are saying. And so I just hope that as we go on as a body, that we look within ourselves about what we need to do to make sure that we're working for the betterment of all statewide, to create the opportunities for all that we need to ensure that all are getting the jobs that they need, that all are getting a good education that they need, that we are really working towards the betterment of our communities, that we are not stopping locking up communities of color, especially our black men who are filled within our prison systems. So I can understand your thought and how you see it, because we are a community that is scared. There are so many within our community who are scared. In the 21st century, there are so many who are scared that we have not made it to a more fair and just society. So I couldn't go without stating this. I unfortunately could not just let it go, Representative Newberry, how you see your world. And I'm hoping that, going forth, that you would spend some time expanding your worldview and getting to know the people a little bit better without making those type of assumptions. Thank you.